Morning, Villa fans. I just thought I'd leave that on screen just for a moment. You can see pointed arrows pointing to the goal. This is taken from a few years ago. A German lower league team called Mattersburg, after their team went 5 games in a row without scoring a goal, the fans bought out these arrow cards to show the players where the goal is and where the ball needs to go. Villa are 4 games into the Premier League season. You could say 5 games if you include the United game at the end of last season, and we are yet to score a goal. What is happening to my football club? So grab yourselves a cup of tea or a coffee or something stronger. We're going to talk about Aston Villa. Those of you that have been watching this channel since I've done it, I'm normally sort of calm, collected, and rational with my thoughts, but I've got a feeling that this one might go here, there, and everywhere. A bit like Aston Villa shooting, really. So, we've got a lot to talk about, and it's frustrating at the moment to see Villa being so kind of goal shy, really, in front, and not being able to hit the target at all. So I wanted to talk about what's been going on at Aston Villa. Let me sort my hat out first. It seems to be falling off my head. Get a bit tighter at the back, perhaps. But Everton 0, Aston Villa 0. Not a great game to watch, really. I did my instant match reaction. I mean, let's wind it back. Let's give it some sort of context to it. So, going back to the starting lineup, the lineup was something that I don't think anyone kind of wanted or predicted. John McGinn, again, playing from the kind of right. I mean, you looked at the game and it did look like we had almost like a midfield 3 again. It looked like we had Bogard, Tielemans and McGinn in that kind of midfield 3, with Buendia and Rodgers playing as 2 sort of cam roles. And then Luca Digne and Matty Cash kind of providing width on the fullback positions. So it kind of looked a bit different compared to how we normally kind of set up when we have sort of McGinn playing out on the right. I think he was playing in that position because obviously he wanted to get close to Jack Grealish and things like that. Lamar Bogard coming into the team was a big surprise as well. I'll be honest, when I saw his name, I thought, oh my God, okay. But I'm going to give him a lot of credit. I thought he was outstanding for us in this game, covering well defensively, winning some tackles, and being in the right position at certain times. And he seems to be growing, hopefully, more into confidence. There was a couple of points where the ball was played into him from Emi Martinez, literally on the edge of our box, and I was shitting myself thinking he's going to lose this. It just doesn't look composed, does he? He looks like he's scared, and it doesn't look like he wants the ball sometimes. I get the feeling that he's the sort of player that wants to be winning the ball rather than being on the ball. But yeah, he did well. He did well, to give him his due. Defensively, we looked all right. Emi Martinez, obviously the big talking point, coming back into the team as well. And, as I thought he would have as well, I thought he was going to be thrown back in from the start here. I think that kind of puts that kind of unrest to bed now. And it's like, well, Emi's the number 1. He's going to play in the big games. And gladly and hopefully, he can continue with performances like this, because he was the one who really made the difference. That save from Michael Keane in the second half, outstanding. Denying Jack Grealish after being deflected from Konsa in the first half. And I think Beto as well in the first half as well. So 3 really good saves. That Michael Keane one was absolutely top draw. And, back to the Emi Martinez that we knew and we all like and love. Matty Cash, I thought he did well up against Jack Grealish given the circumstances. He obviously picked up a booking sort of half an hour in, so he sort of had to be careful. And I think what Unai did in the second half by bringing on Guessand to help out Cash and giving him that instruction to help out was very important. So that was good. But yeah, so from a defensive standpoint, we did well. Konsa was solid enough. That one little error in the second half, which was almost fatal for us. Mings looking good. Again, solid enough, going down a bit of an injury early on, but recovering well from that. But then going forward, guys, is obviously the big topic. And, I'm taking in a lot of the other podcasts as well over the last couple of days and their reaction to it as well. And it's crazy. Aston Villa are the only team in the top 7 divisions of England to not score a goal. I think it's going down to like the national leagues. We are the only team not to score. Crystal Palace hold the record of 9 consecutive games without a goal back in 94-95 season. So hopefully we're not going to break that kind of record. But for Villa, it's, 4 games into this season, including the Man United one, that's 5 games now where we haven't hit the back of the net. I think Boubacar Kamara against Spurs was our last goal. Correct me if I'm wrong on that. But the frustrating part of it is that we don't even look like we're close to scoring. It's not as though we're creating chances, the keeper's making saves. I mean, Jordan Pickford on Saturday, do you know what I mean? He could have, he could have jumped in his car and drove to the cinema and watched the film and come back just before the final whistle, and nobody would have noticed. It was so easy for him. I mean, the team lineup that we went with was so safe. I mean, there was no Harvey Elliott, no Sancho. Okay, I didn't expect Sancho to start, but I thought maybe Harvey Elliott would start, maybe Elliott Malen would get a start just to give us a bit of pace and penetration, but it was so safe. I mean, forget the Bertano kind of sponsor. We should be sponsored by Durex. We were that safe in the team lineup. It was ridiculous. And yeah, just nothing. Emi Buendia, the only kind of player showing anything, willing to have a couple of shots here and there. Morgan Rogers, I don't know what's happened to this man. I mean, I did a video a couple of weeks ago now saying I think we are at risk of burning him out, and I still believe that. I mean, he played well for England a few days ago against Serbia, and was arguably sort of man of the match in that game. But when he puts on the Villa shirt, I don't know what it is. Is it too many instructions from Unai? Is it too much freedom from Unai? Because Rogers has mentioned that Unai wants him to express himself and dribble with the ball, and if he does lose it, try again and again and again. But there comes a point where he's losing possession, and it's almost like he's losing possession. It's like it doesn't matter. Some of the passes that he did against this game against Everton were horrible. I mean, the stats, I think he had like 0 dribble success rate. I think he lost the ball. He won 1 out of 9 sort of ground duels. This is not the Morgan Rogers that we have come to know. He's just not in the game. He's not affecting it. And again, he plays 90 minutes. I mean, what has he got on Unai? He's got pictures of Unai in the shower or something. Is this blackmail? You take me off, I'm going to expose you. I mean, what is it? It's ridiculous now. He had a shocking game and continues to play the 90 minutes. You have to bring him off. Otherwise, his ego is going to go up here and he's just going to think he is the dog's bollocks all the time. He needs to be coming off if he's not playing well. You cannot run the risk of just playing him all the time. He brought off Watkins, obviously only with 7 minutes to go. But Watkins and Rogers, I mean, Rogers especially, I mean, I think personally that we have heaped too much pressure and expectation on Morgan Rogers. Yes, he's had this massive upward trajectory, and watch my video about him, the burnout. He's been tremendous since he joined us. He was picked up from Middlesbrough, where he was in and out of the team there, wasn't a regular. He's 22 years of age, and all of a sudden we're expecting him to be our shining light and our player that we rely on week in, week out. He's getting marked out of games. Unai Emery's tactics are being figured out. You close us down, you press us high, you let the wing backs, Digne and Cash, go forward, and you know they're not going to do anything. What happened? In pre-season, Ollie Watkins was banging in goals, scoring header after header, crosses coming into the box from Luca Digne, from Matty Cash. Great headers from Ollie Watkins in pre-season. We haven't seen any of that this season. I can't remember a cross from Digne or a cross from Cash where it's put onto Watkins' head. It's been shocking this season. And also pre-season, we had this thing where, we would draw the other team out from the goal kicks. And so the defense would be like low block, the midfield would drop a bit deep, and that would create space around the halfway line space where Martinez would just dink the ball into Ollie Watkins' feet when he's sort of, in front of the defender. I haven't seen any of that in these opening games. It's like whatever we did in pre-season, which kind of worked quite well, and you could see things that were emerging. Where's that gone? Where has that gone? It hasn't been a great opening 4 games to the Premier League season. Newcastle, okay, in hindsight, you can take that. We're down to 10 men. Let's hang on for the point, and it probably is a good point. Brentford, we've got Brentford again coming up as well. Remember, that was shocking. Crystal Palace, obviously our bogey team, but again, really bad. really bad. And the goals that we conceded were really bad. This game against Everton, you can probably say it was probably the best performance out of the 4. But even so, we just didn't look like scoring. Emi Buendia shooting from like the halfway line in the first half, trying to catch Pickford out, was probably the highlight of the first half for us. Second half, Buendia coming close again with a shot from the edge of the box, which gets deflected. But I said Pickford didn't even have to. I mean, you could turn around to the Everton kit man and just say, no, I'll wear the same kit. It's fine. It still smells of Lenore. Don't even wash it. The gloves are fine. Didn't have to do anything. Absolutely nothing. We just haven't got any sort of pace. And I've talked about pace and, having ball carriers in the team are important. Whether you're playing at under 9s or whether you're playing in a World Cup final, you need players that can carry the ball forward and commit defenders towards them and go past them, because then that opens up space on the pitch for other players. We haven't got that, and we certainly didn't have that from the start against Everton. You had Harvey Elliott come on for a little bit. You can't expect him to do everything. Morgan Rogers is there, but he's totally out of form. He's totally out of form. He needs to be benched. He needs to come on, and know that his place is not secure. Once you feel comfortable that your place is secure in a football team, you kind of I'm not saying he's down tools, but you kind of relax a little bit. Like, no pressure on me. I'm going to be picked every week. He needs to have that rocket up his arse that he needs to know that he can't be playing as shit as he has been. And, it's all based on form. So, yeah, Morgan Rogers, sort yourself out, mate. Sort yourself out. Even if you need to get away for a week, go. Get yourself out, get yourself back in for the Sunderland game, take a few days off, get your head right, whatever you need to do. But this is not the Morgan Rogers that we have seen over the last sort of 18 months. But we need to stop relying on this guy. We need to start integrating people like Sancho. He was on the bench. Could he have played last 10, 12 minutes of a game? Just something, a ball carrier. Could have given us something, a bit of pace there. Guessand was obviously just told to come and double up on Jack Grealish and did very little kind of going forward, really. Harvey Elliott didn't have enough time to affect the game. What was he on, like 15 minutes? He looked bright. He looked to play balls in behind, but it's about having players that are on your wavelength, and we just didn't have that. And Villa, the stats are saying, I listened to sort of Neil, the Love of Paul McGrath podcast, who put out some really good stats, saying that Villa's actually goal attempts and things like that are around sort of the mid-table mark compared to other Premier League teams, which was really surprising, because I don't really remember us having many shots on goal, testing goalkeepers, those making saves after save. I mean, the Newcastle game, whoever's in goal for them, was it Pope or something? No, Ramsdale. I can't recall a massive save. Was it Boubacar Kamara maybe? Had a chance there, I think. Apart from that, I can't really remember anything there. Brentford, their goalkeeper. I don't remember him making save after save. And then obviously Crystal Palace, Dean Henderson, and that Ollie Watkins chance that he saved. But that was just from a long punt up pitch. Can't really recall anything after that. And then, Pickford, as I said, nothing really. And this is a keeper that you need to put pressure on. You need to put crosses into. You know that he's not the biggest. He's not the greatest with his handling. He's not the greatest with his feet either, like in terms of trying to kicking the ball. He can kick the ball far, but his technique is not great. Put him under pressure. There was none of that. We just sat back, and it looked like we just wanted to go for a 0-0. And this is totally different to the Unai Emery style and the way that we have been playing under Unai Emery since he come in. So I just wonder, where has the attacking flair gone? Have teams just figured us out? Where's the plan B? Where's the other options that we have? It's just so frustrating to watch at the moment that when we get it forward, we don't seem to have a clue. We don't have any runners going beyond the striker, getting into the box. So even if it does go wide to like Lucadinha or someone else, there's only Watkins really in there. There's nobody else sort of busting a gut to get into the box and support and help out. It's just really, really frustrating at the moment to watch this as a Villa fan. And, we're sitting in 19th position at the moment. I think Wolves are just below us. That's it. But, we've got Brentford coming up tomorrow in the Cup. I want us to take that seriously. I know people are saying it's probably a fourth choice. We've got the Europa League, Premier League, FA Cup, and then Carabao Cup. Not really. I want us to see us lift a trophy. And if it is the Carabao Cup, so be it. I'd rather see us go on a cup run, take this seriously. I mean, before the Everton game, maybe when the draw was made, you think, okay, you can, give some youngsters a chance here and there. I want to see it freshened up, of course. I want to see us take it seriously. And I think we've got enough in the squad now that you can change it up. You can drop Watkins. You can put Guessand up front. You can drop Rodgers. You can put Harvey Elliott in. You can put Jadon Sancho in. You can even put in Elliott Malen from the right. I mean, what has Elliott Malen done? He's on. I mean, you've got to question the signings. Was Elliott Malen even an Unai Emery signing? Like, did he want him? You've paid 21 million for him in the end? He's on 140 grand, reportedly. Doesn't hardly get a look in. But this could be a chance for him. I don't think he's a striker. I don't think he's one to play kind of on the shoulder. I think he's one to play maybe from the right. But yeah, I think the Brentford game might be a good chance to give him a bit of chance on the right-hand side, play Harvey Elliott maybe in the 10 role, and then go with Sancho from the left. And then you've got likes of Buendia, Watkins and Rodgers from the bench, because they haven't been doing it in the league. So they all need to know that they're not doing it. Their place is under threat. Once footballers get comfortable, when Watkins gets comfortable and he knows and there's no pressure there, we've seen him do really well. Obviously, we've seen him do well, but he needs to know that his place, there is competition there. And I think Guessand is the one to provide that competition for him in the sort of number 10 role. But it was just hugely disappointing. I mean, compared to what we've seen in like the pre-season, which was quite good, and obviously in Unai Emery's tenure about sort of keeping possession. I mean, the amount of times that we turned over possession against Everton, it was horrible. We lost the ball too easy. I know we're kind of down to the bare bones when it comes to sort of the double pivot position, and we've had to put in the likes of Bogard, Tielemans coming off at half time. I'm hoping that's not serious. McGinn having to slot in back there for second half and played all right. And I think that's probably going to be his position going forward. But what's happened, we had Victor Lindelof coming in at sort of CDM as well, playing the last sort of 10 minutes or so from there. And, I know that he started off his career as a CDM and converted into a centre-back, but it's been a long while since he's played CDM. And my thoughts against the Brentford game tomorrow is that they are really just going to throw. They've got Coyote, the right back, who is a regen of Rory Delap. And he is literally just going to fling that ball. I mean, Keith Andrews is a set-piece coach. So he's going to have so many set-piece ideas, corners and throw-ins, and he just wants to get balls in the box. You saw their goal against Chelsea yesterday, or on Saturday. The equaliser at the end comes from a long throw, little flick to the back post, and there's Carvalho to tuck it in. That is the blueprint of Brentford. That is what they're going to do tomorrow. They're just going to get balls into the box, balls over the top. They've got Sade and then Igor Thiago up front who can, run. And they've got that, what's his name? Otara as well, the guy who scored against us. But we've got to start throwing in players. We saw Walter Made come in, scoring his debut. Obviously, that Otara scored for Brentford on their debut against us. Why can't we put in players? You talked about Harvey Elliott before the game, training consistently, for Liverpool and looks ready. And then all of a sudden he's on the bench. And we're going with, a John McGinn. Buendia's coming back into the lineup. I mean, Buendia is 2025. We loaned this guy out to Leverkusen last year and deemed him not good enough for us. And now he's coming back in and starting for us. It's like, what's going on? Buendia, I don't mind him coming off the bench. Gives a little bit of energy. But for starting games in 2025 for Aston Villa, Emi Buendia, really? I thought we were past that. And then if you look at the lineup also, and this has been pointed out on the other podcasts, only Tielemans and Rodgers were Unai Emery signings that started that game. Our back four was largely Dean Smith, Steven Gerrard, if you have Digne on there. And then, ahead of that, John McGinn, Steve Bruce signing. Obviously, Watkins, Steve Bruce was McGinn, and then Dean Smith, Ollie Watkins. And it's just like, what are we doing? Why doesn't Unai trust these players that he's bought and paid money for, likes of Ian Maatsen? Why didn't he come on? Luca Digne had, a great big lump on his above his eye after a little clash with, I think it was with one of the Everton strikers, Beto might have been. Maatsen could have come on then. Didn't want to bring him on. You paid money for this guy. Elliott Malen, 7 minutes at the end. Guessand, okay, half time, did all right, had the instruction of what to do. But you've got to trust your signing, surely, a little bit more. If you've paid money and watched these guys and given the overall, yes, I want to bring this player in, then start him, play him, give him a bit of chance. You've got to take out Morgan Rogers. If a person is not playing well, and Rogers hasn't been playing well for a long time, he has to come out. I don't want to see him at all against Brentford. On the bench, perhaps, maybe. But there's no way that he should be starting that game. We need to start the likes of Sancho. Elliott needs to be in there as well as that creative force. Maybe Elliott Malen from the right, or you put Elliott on the right and you can put in someone like a Buendia in the 10 perhaps, or something like that. But it needs to look a little bit fresher and a bit different. I don't want to see Rogers and I don't want to see Watkins starting the game tomorrow. I think they both should be off the bench. And let's see how we go. I think we just need to freshen it up and have some fresh ideas. Martin, play left back. Come in. Let's have some attacking. Him and Sancho on the left, maybe that Borussia Dortmund link up. A bit of freshness, a bit of pace, a bit of players that are willing to get forward and overlap and drive at players and commit challenges. That's what I want to see. That's what we've been kind of seeing from Unai Emery's team, is that we've had players who have been able to go past. Obviously, Marcus Rashford was a special player that we had an opportunity to have, but when he had the ball, it was an excitement. It was like, what's he going to do? He had ability to beat players, and that's what we wanted to see. But we haven't got that in the team at the moment. It seems like we haven't got anyone that can go past players. It's just nice tappy football, play it across the back, recycle it, goes out to Cash, recycle it, goes out to Digne, recycle it. I mean, there was a chance in the second half there for us against Everton where Digne had the ball on the left-hand side. He's played the ball inside onto the edge of the box. And I'm like, yes, the players picked it up. Just hit it. And then I looked at who it was. It was Lamar Bogard. On the edge of the box, prime, lovely, just curl it to the top corner, try it. But I knew that he weren't going to shoot. And what does he do? Ends up recycling it back. And we end up starting to move again. And I think losing possession, I think it might have been the one where Ezri Konsa lost possession and they nearly sort of raced in on goal. So, we're giving up chances to shoot. If you get towards the edge of the box, shoot, have a shot. If you don't shoot, you don't score. It's very simple. But we just seem to be really goal shy, shot shy. It's frustrating. It really is. And as I said, like this video was going to go here, there, and everywhere, a bit like Villa shooting, and it's turned out that way. I mean, I'm rambling on. I'm so kind of frustrated with what I'm seeing from my football team at the moment. I want it to change. I want Unai Emery to get this right. Unai Emery has been, probably the best manager that I've seen at Aston Villa since I've been supporting him since the 90s. He's probably up there with, John Gregory was another good manager. Martin O'Neill was another good manager. But what Unai Emery has done is given us that Champions League football, back into Europe. He's played some really good football, some really great wins against the likes of Man City, Arsenal. And the way that we played football there was brave. Even if we went a goal down to Man City or Arsenal, you always felt there was a chance that Villa could get back into it. Now it just seems like if any team scores against us, we're done. We're done. We don't have any recovery in us. It's like, what's happened there? The team hasn't been freshened up enough, in my opinion. And certainly the starting 11 hasn't been freshened up. He's not trusting the new signings enough. He wants to bed them in and get them used to the system. My argument is that, obviously, we've heard about Unai Emery and his long, extensive sort of debriefs and briefs of games and things like that. Have the players stopped listening? Do you get bored if you hear the same voice over and over and over telling you the same kind of thing over and over again? Is that? I'm hoping that's not what's going on. But it was good to see a clean sheet. Defensively, we look solid. Just up front, we look rubbish. We look like we don't know where the goal is. And we just need to put more crosses into the box. Ollie Watkins can head the ball. Let's trust that. Get Digne, get Martin out wide, get Sancho out wide, driving at the fullback, getting some crosses in. That's the only way it's going to happen. Morgan Rogers, he needs to come out of the lineup. Maybe he just needs that little break himself, because he can't just play and continue playing 90 minutes. That's just, I don't know what that's all about, how he continues to play 90 minutes every game. But it's a crazy one. But yeah, I mean, Brentford tomorrow, I've given my kind of lineup to what I think it will be. I think it will be, I would say normally Bezo in goal for these Carabao Cup games, but I want to win. The way we're going to win is having our best players on the pitch. So I think Emi Martinez starts in goal. Right back, Matty Cash picks himself. There's nobody else. Right centre back, it would have been a nice time to bring in someone like Lindelof, but I'm going to go with Konsa. I'm going to go with Mings because I know they're going to flood the box with corners and throw-ins, and we need someone who can head the ball. So for me, Pau Torres sits out again on this one. Left back, I'm going to change it up and put Ian Martson there. The CDM options, depends if Tielemans is back or Kamara is back, which I'm not too sure they will be. So as it is, we'll probably go with Bogard and McGinn, which does worry me a little bit in terms of the height and physicality there. But, that's all we've got as options there. And then in front of that, Sancho on the left. I will play Harvey Elliott in the 10. And then go Elliott Malen from the right. And then Evan Guessand up front. So that leaves a bench of Buendia, Watkins, Rogers, Digne, Pau Torres, Lindelof, maybe Hemmings, maybe Aloba, some youngsters as well. But yeah, I think that's what we need to go with in terms of sort of lineup wise, and just don't give away any unnecessary corners or throw-ins to them, because their throw-ins are like corners, and you can bet your bottom dollar they will be up for the game. It's going to be probably a sold-out G-Tech stadium for them. I think they've given quite a generous free tickets to the youngsters, and they've done a sort of scheme where if you buy an adult ticket, you get a free under 18 ticket. So you can imagine that G-Tech is going to be absolutely packed and rocking. So we need to make sure that we go into the game positively. I don't want to see this safe sort of lineup. I want to see some positivity, and I want to see Villa going for it, attacking them. But yeah, guys, I could ramble on for another half an hour, but I'm going to leave it there because I've got work to do. I've got stuff to do. And yeah, I just wanted to jump on and give my thoughts on the game and what's been going on. And it's just like, it's not good, guys. It's not good. Anyway, bring your arrow cards to the G-Tech Stadium tomorrow. Keep them because you might need them at the stadium on is it Sunday? And you know what? Exactly. If the game's tomorrow on Tuesday and then the next game's on Sunday, that's enough recovery time. You don't need to pay a bunch of youngsters tomorrow. You've got Tuesday. You can pay your strong team. You can pay another strong team on Sunday. It's not as though it's like Wednesday, Saturday, quick turnover. It's not like that. We've got plenty of time to get some rest in between the games. So anyway, guys, I'll leave it there. Up the Villa. Enjoy your day. I'm going to go in the garden in a minute and shoot into the goal. But anyway, guys, over and out. See you soon. Bye-bye.